tuned in to Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Niedercar. This week, New Zealand's king of custom paint and pinstriping, Chaz Allen. And we shed raid a one-stop hot rod shop just out of Rangiora, Allan Customs. But first up, thanks to Maguire's, we're at Tokoroa's Ammersfield drag strip for the second NZ Rodder Gas Awards reunion drags.
We've got a good day coming up. We've got 18 gases confirmed, carboniface, nitro funny cars. Other comp cars, FEDs, we've got the new vintage Superstock class. So yeah, lots of nostalgia.
But it's the recently established vintage gas class that today plays the headline act.
We had 15 cars last year, we've got 18 racing here today. The group at the moment, I think we've got 60 odd members. We've had 6 new cars this season. The gases, well, they came about in the last couple of years with some events with Australian teams coming over. We formed that and it's just grown huge for us, you know. There's a whole lot of cars and a whole lot of guys that want to get them out there and race. So we thought, well, we just create an event and we can get these gases all together.
We've got our own set of rules based loosely on the kind of 60s gases, straight axle at the front, negative rake, so the nose has got to be in the air, you know, nosebleed style, must run slicks, and 370 body. Our biggest rule is it's got to be fun.
We keep going out round after round for the gas side of things, so nobody gets knocked out, everybody gets plenty of runs throughout the day. It's about having fun and getting out there.
The gases reverse rake stance wasn't a fashion statement back in the late 50s, 60s and even 70s. It was a means of working with the technology available at the time.
Yeah, back in the day the traction wasn't great and the tyres weren't that great either, so the whole idea of the weight transferred to the back axle, you know, before you even leave, so all your weight's at the back, and yeah, evolved from there. And luckily enough, there's enough people around to kind of keep that vibe going, which is awesome.
You only have to look at overseas and how it's grown over there so much, and yeah, picking up so much momentum here. Once you get behind the wheel of one of those things, a big grin on your face, you know, you can't turn back from it.
The ETs might not be lightning quick, but this accessible racing class has won plenty of converts, some from much faster cars. While the construction of the Masterton track might have been the catalyst for Eddie Tribula to dust off his race suit, his running on empty 57 Chev has since seen further modification specifically to run in the vintage gas class.
Running a 496 blind, alcohol injected. I brought it in from America about 7 years ago. That was when Masterton got its track built and I wanted to get back into it, so I imported a car. And the gasser class come along and I was really interested to get in with that. I had to change the front axle, put a straight axle beam in it, and which allowed me to then enter the class. And basically been having a lot of fun from there. I've had 57s all my life, right from the age of 18. I've got 3 at the moment, street car, modified car and a race car. So, no, it's in my blood. That's what I love. It's good, it's fun, unpredictable. Every time you leave that line, left, right, up. No, it's fun, it's a fun group. That's why I'm here, put on a show.
Eddie's trip up from the Hutt Valley to Tokoroa is admirable, sure, but Christchurch's Angus Mackay has them all beat. Sealing the deal? There's no trailer in sight.
Quite a long drive and a 3-hour boat crossing, but I left about 7 o'clock Friday night, drove up to the Picton and slept on the wharf in the car and then legged it up here yesterday. Just does a lot of miles each year. I come up here normally 3 or 4 times a season to race. Just change the diffie over when I get up here and put the slicks on and good to go. I was running a pre-27 Chev. It's all pre-67 parts. Early Y and cross ram intake, magneto, scatter shield, 11-inch clutch, 4-speed T10, through a locked up 9-inch on leaf springs and ladder bars. It's all early stuff. Nothing high tech or late model here. I had a gas before the class was even started, so as soon as I saw there's a class starting up, I pounced on it, you know. So yeah, everyone ready to go, but there's nothing to run in. So this is just awesome. This class, it's growing fast, you know.
Rotorua's Russell Lowe operates a well-known workshop, the Toy Shed, and he spent a fair chunk of seat time in top door slammer behind the wheel of one rapid Camaro. His Chevy sedan might take a few more seconds to get to the finish line, but it's been the way he's been getting there of late that's earned Strange Magic plenty of fans.
Yeah, that was part of the idea when we built it. We built the suspension on purpose to make it the wheel stands, and yeah, it's proved the point that it works, and nothing's really broken. We've bent the axle a few times, but we've put some braces on now which should hold it together now. Hopefully we'll find out. 489 big box Chev, so it's a bit of an unusual bore and stroke combination with a 4-speed Jericho behind it. It's got an old tunnel ram with twin 660 centre squirters, which are really old school carbs. It's got a magneto and just, you know, old stuff, so it looks proper. Yeah, and manual too, which makes it good fun. And it's just rough and ready. We threw it together in 42 days, buying it a paddock to racing it. So yeah, fun, and we do have to how it is just because it's character. Hop in, turn the key and drive, and just the fun factor. The orange Camaro was good fun, but way too much work and too much money, and it's serious, whereas this is just a laugh and you have some fun. End of the day, throw on the trailer and tow it home and you don't have to do any work to it, so it's pretty good.
And it was another Toy Shed vehicle, proving a highlight from the day's support classes. The coupe would be enough to give Henry Ford a heart attack, shoehorning a 1650 cubic inch motor, that's 27 litres from a Centurion tank between the rails, topped by a 1671 blower. It's not what you'd call the shy type.
Yeah, well, that was what we built it for really. It was just, yeah, entertainment, and because we can was the theory really, but the step-up drive between the motor and the gearbox was the biggest trick of working out how to go about that. Once that was sorted out, the rest of it's, you know, just normal 9-inch and power glide and bits and pieces. It did 30 now at 115 last time, and that sort of, we don't need to go too fast in it. We know we can make it do that, but yeah, it's old brakes and old technology, so that's probably just about fast enough. We'll see.
The day of nostalgia racing was capped off with a couple of spirited exhibition passes from Carl Boniface's Nitro Flashback Funny Car. Con Bentley's Valgas claimed the Vintage Gas Trophy this year, besting Dave Middlemiss's the Mexican 54 Chev in the final. It's a class that's undoubtedly on the up both here and worldwide. As far as today's organisers go, well, that's just fine.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, to hear of guys coming last year and walking away and going home to build a car for this year, just blown away actually. And there's more guys coming. Yeah, they just keep coming out of the woodwork, and everyone's kind of coming along to watch, seeing how much fun we have, and going home and getting those old projects that have been sitting around for a while. And I thought, you know what, I could put a straight axle under that and join the gasser guys.
Protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage. Right, we're shed raiding thanks to our mates at Mount Shop. This week we gatecrashed Steve Allan Customs, a workshop just out of Rangiora that's been quietly making quite a name for itself.
I had my first car when I was 14, and it was back in that era where you'd go out into the shed. You know, now that it's highly illegal, I painted my first car in my uncle's garage. And he showed me how to do it. Back then it was stick welding and stuff like that. The weld test was, you know, welding it up, well, me welding it up and then hitting it with a big hammer, and if it didn't fall to bits, I'd done it right. So, you know, just eventuated from there, stepping stones of different cars and just getting a bit more of a buzz, and yeah, it's come a long way. Steve Allan Customs originally started off just as a paint shop, just for hot rods and classics and everything like that. But over the 16, nearly 17 years we've been running, it's eventuated to seeing a lot of other things that we can get involved with, from full fabricating panels to chassis builds to scratch builds. Different cars coming in, and not just necessarily the hot rods as such. A lot of British, a lot of rotary, just anything old and cool. Anything old and cool.
With its 9 staff, the workshop offers its customers a full one-stop shop experience. But there's one job Steve's not so keen on.
They might have just bought that perfect vehicle off Trade Me or eBay, and they think they've got the best deal in the world, and we're sort of the heartbreakers. And either it be due to body issues or mechanical or engineering. So there's a lot of explaining that sort of needs to be done to bring them up to speed. And that's normally on me.
This is one of the more full-on jobs at present, a Chevy long wheelbase Apache truck. The body is very original, but the same can't be said for much else.
A good friend that was going to do, right way back at the start, was going to do the work on it, but his situation's changed. Sent the work our way. We built up a really great relationship with the owner, and we've just been working through it from changing the original Art Morrison chassis to a long bed, to a bit of an engine change, to wider wheels, all airbagged. We've gone for true track diff head, and just every option you could sort of think to be able to make it a really good driver. Give it a little bit of go as well, obviously, but keep it into listening to the customers, what he wants and his family want out of that vehicle as well. So obviously staying patina, all the chassis work's just going sort of a satin black. It's going to be a very understated truck.
Like many projects, the Apache's direction has evolved during its stay at Steve Allan Customs, but Steve is quick to note there are key components where locking them in early makes a lot of sense, to save both time and money.
Like, even as dumb as it sounds, sorting out what wheels you want right at the start before you even do any body work. It sounds like you're working backwards, but all that sort of stuff, getting your steering sorted before you even do an engine. If you follow the process, the whole thing is a hell of a lot easier than working back to front. Yes, you can change on the way through, but you change one thing and it leads to possibly changing 10 other things to make that one thing work again. So yeah, we try to stay away from that as much as we can.
And be it a full-on custom truck or a real oddball like this Nissan March being mated to the running gear from a rear-wheel drive turbo Sylvia, repetition isn't a word often used around here. That's just fine by Steve.
100%. You know, the day that you stop thinking or coming up with a challenge and a way to rectify it or fix it or an option, you might as well not come to work. You might as well just sit in your room and, you know, do nothing. You know, it's just always a good challenge. It's the end result. It doesn't actually matter if we've fabricated something out of nothing or fabricated that panel to be exactly the same as original. It's still that build process is still sort of to a degree the same. The head's still thinking, yeah. It's the friends, it's the events, it's my business. It's a business we all enjoy doing as well. So when you can relate that to your family life, it's a really cool sort of scene to be in. And a lot of good friends, you know, even from other shops. You build great relationships for the people that are doing exactly the same thing.
Right, fine lines for a rolling canvas. Thanks to Need a Car, meet custom paint and pinstripe artist Charlie Chaz Allen.
We've been in hot rodding our whole life. It was just sort of natural to lean towards doing something with cars. You know, I think when we were going and looking for jobs, I applied for anything. I actually went for a panel beater job and got a painting job. By the time I'd spent a year there before I did my apprenticeship, figured that panel beating wasn't going to be for me, and the painting was what I liked, yeah. I always say I like to colour the world one paint job at a time. For me, it's a good physical job. The stuff that we do when we start getting into flakes and pearls and candies, it's mentally challenging as well. A lot of people have jobs where it's a 9 to 5, they turn up, they sort of brain dead, and then they go home and do their passions, but I get to do it every day for people. And I just love pushing boundaries. Like, I love the fact that every job we get, it's another step up. You know, we try and further ourselves, our painting, our pinstriping, our prepping. I'm constantly looking to try and push that envelope. It's just what we do. We're so passionate about paint. You know, I eat, sleep and breathe paint.
A freshly painted classic or hot rod could be called a form of art in its own right, and Charlie has been responsible for his fair share of them over the years. But art is perhaps the only way to describe the more custom end of his skill set. Art that in most cases just happens to be applied to a rolling canvas.
We are a custom paint shop. We do stuff that's not run-of-the-mill. We do anything that's too hard for someone else to do. We get a lot of insurance companies ask us to do paint jobs that you know, other shops won't touch. So yeah, I guess we're a custom car paint shop. The old school approach, we haven't changed a lot. Our materials and our paint have changed a lot, but we're very still old school. We don't use a lot of machines, we use a lot of hand blocking. And the style of paint has come back as well. The likes of Larry Watson, using the paneling and the cobwebbing and the fades. It's a really easy way to make a car look custom.
The seeds of this automotive art form were sown back in the early days of car customization. Its breakthrough era was the 50s, when techniques like pinstriping were no longer just a means of accenting the factory lines of a motor vehicle. The art took on a life of its own. Names like Von Dutch and Larry Watson were made, their signature styles still referenced today by new generations of artists, looking to add their own spin on a traditional concept.
It's a double-edged sword. It's good. We have some references, we can go back. I always tell people to Google their car, see what colours they like. But then again, you don't want to be seen as copying someone. So, you know, we take people's ideas, try and put our twist on stuff as well, right? So, tradition is cool, but making it your own is even better. Everyone has their own images or aspirations as what they want their cars to be, whether it's back to stock, you know, for a classic, or whether it's a hot rod and they want to go completely outrageous with candy and flake and pinstriping and graphics. When their phone rings or when someone turns up to the shop, we don't know where we're going to go with that job until such time as they start sort of spilling their guts and we start drawing stuff and writing stuff down. So it's quite exciting when we get a new customer, a new job, and we start to really delve into what they want to do with their job. The outlet of it is amazing. They turn up with maybe a rusty old tank and they get it back as like a gem, you know, it's like slippery and shiny and it's all finished. You know, some guys don't even know what to do with it. There's a big element of trust. Yeah, we often ask just for some guidelines, as in size, colours, positionings of where, say, you want some pinstriping. But the design work and how it sort of flows with the car is entirely up to me. Yeah, and hey, we've had a 100% hit rate so far, so it's been pretty good.
You'll find Charlie's lines applied to vehicles the country over. A regular at events like Muscle Car Madness and Kumu, often plying his trade with the pressures of an audience. For Charlie and his small crew, Muriwai is their new home base. A much larger shed now keeps everything in-house, with a spray booth and even a bit of a gallery and retail on site. Whether it be high-spec paint finish on full vehicles or all the fine detail of custom paintwork, pinstriping or lettering, rest assured there'll be nothing ordinary rolling out of this West Auckland workshop anytime soon.
I'm proud, you know, like I've worked really hard, I've come up through the ranks, I've done everything I can to give myself and our customers the best job possible. We don't sort of blow our own horns and fly our flags, but we just let our work do the talking. So yeah, quietly proud.
Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.